friends, 3 of them he took with him, said, "Can you not pray with me 1 hour? Because this is getting ready to manifest. These things are getting ready to happen that I've been telling you about. It's time that these things come." Well, I'm here to tell you this time that these things come. I'm here to tell you this time that these things manifest, and God is going to do the vision and the promises and the things that He said He was going to do. But it always don't come the way we think it's going to come. It don't always happen the way we think it's going to happen. But I can assure you that God still loved Peter as much as He loves us, even though we may misinterpret what God has for us. We may misinterpret the things, and we may misinterpret and grab hold. But we got to go on with the second part that Jesus instructed upon us. Hey, it may not come the way you think it's going to come, but if you want to stay my disciple, you're going to have to pick yourself up and follow me. You're going to have to pick yourself up and do the things that we've asked. We said that there's things that we're going to face many enemies, we said, over the 40 days. We didn't know what kind of enemies we was going to face from different things. And people want to think the enemies is people, but it's not always. As we said, anything that takes life out of you, anything that tries to destroy life and destroy life more abundantly from you is an enemy against you. And we've seen many enemies arise and many things come and many situations over the 40 days. But I'm telling you now that God has victory over them all. He has the control to defeat and overcome every enemy that we face. He has bore the stripes for everything that we faced. He told us clearly that the only way we're going to have victory over these enemies is realize there's power in His name and to know that all things will work together for good, even though we can't see it. Even though Peter rejected it at that time and couldn't see it. Peter rejected it during all that time. And once Christ was suffered, and you watched the movie The Passion, and as I was laying there crying last night, as they was beaten and his body was bruised and afflicted, you could see his ribs hanging out, and you could see all these things, and him hanging on the cross, and everybody weeping, thinking it's over. There's no chance. There's no hope. It's over. We ain't got no other way. There's no way that we could have victory. But 3 days later, total victory. Total victory. Because He rose again. He defeated death. He defeated the final foe, which was death. He defeated it and overcome the final foe of the world. That's why He said, I've overcome the world. I've overcome everything that will come against you in this world. The final foe, death. And He defeated it. He overcame it and put it away. And therefore He is the answer to all these things. But when things don't happen the way we think that they happen. It's keeping people from stepping up into the land and what God wants. And today it's His house. Today this is a day of celebration. He told them that you're going to be sad. That's what He told them. He said you're going to be sad, and they were. You could see it, in that movie, and you can imagine. If you were standing there looking at the guy that had guided you for 3.5 years, he was their pastor. For those 12 men, which ended up being really 11 at the end, he was their pastor. For 3.5 years that he guided them. And then they see him in such shape that they think that there's no hope now. It's all over. There's no chance. But boy, was they fooled. Even though he warned them and told them exactly that this is what the vision's going to be, this is how it's going to happen, this is what I'm here for. But boy, did they get uplifted. But He said, you will be sad, but your sadness will be turned to joy. Today, God is saying, you need to be joyful for what I've done. We need to be joyful for the things that I've paid for, that we can have that hope. That we can have these promises. That we can have these things that He's given to us. We can take every promise that He's given to us. But the only way we can get them is if we are His disciples. And He gives us clear definition. I think that's why He clearly spelled it out. Right there behind these scriptures. Another interpretation. We said the word's alive and it has many meanings. But He said many of you are going to be confused about the way I do things. You're not going to understand the way that I do things. You're not going to unfold the way that you think it's going to unfold. But what you got to do is keep pressing on to be my disciple. If you want hope and you want anything in your life. You got to press on and know that it's true, that my vision is true. You got to press on and know that there is a heaven. You got to press on and know that I will do what I said I will do. Even if it don't manifest the way that you think it's going to. Because how many times have you ever seen God tell you something that it's unfolded exactly the way you thought it would unfold? That it's came the way you thought it would come, especially when it's huge things. And I'm telling you, this is a huge vision for this church. It's tremendous, and how much battling and things that I've been through, and I know you have too, to see this come, because to much given, much is required. And many of us has battled many things. And this little family right here is battling a lot right now. They sure are. But I'm telling you right now, the vision will come to pass. Our job is just to press forward with these things. And then we're going to give you the next step that I think He's pressing this church to do. The next step that we are going to step into. He has told me that my job is to be the leader. You step up like Joshua. You have courage. You be brave. You do not question. You lead. You guide. You take this church to that point. You have no doubt, and you just stand upon it, and you don't shake it no fear before you. No matter what enemies come before your people, no matter what things, just like I was telling you the other night at the funeral home, a pastor's heart for his people is just like his children. It is. And I battled for many things over the course of the last few days. But you know what? I ain't going to be like Peter and rebuke Jesus right now. I'm not going to come against Him and say, Lord, why is this not going this way that I think it should go? I'm not going to come against Him and say, why did this not manifest the way I thought it should manifest? But I'm going to say, God, I know you know what you're doing. And all I need to do is just follow you. All I need to do is just grab hold and quit denying. I got to deny what I think. I got to deny the way I think it should happen. Deny self is what He said. Deny what you think and just follow me is all He's saying, simply put. I know what I've got. I got a plan, and I know the way it's going to manifest. And I know I'm going to take hold of everything. And I know I'll have victory at the end. It don't look like it sometimes in the midst of the war, midst of the battle, and your little ship rocking around in the major hurricanes, and it's turning upside down and flipping sideways, and you're in confusion. The worst place, as we said, we've taught it many times, Job 10:15, I am full of confusion because I look at my afflictions, Job said. And as we said, the man that faced more troubles than any human other than Christ Himself. 10 children buried in one day, lost all of his goods, and then boils from head to toe. And he began to look at all these afflictions. He was full of confusion. And the Bible called him perfect, called him upright, said one that feared God and hated evil. He loved his children so much that he said he would even do extra sacrifice in case one of his children sinned. He would try to fill in the gap for them. It was different back then. I wish I could do that now for my daughter, for my son. As I was telling them, I said, you know, I just wish we could do that for everyone. We could fill in the gap for each one. But each of us got to stand for our own self. Each of us got to stand for our own record, and for what we do is different. If we got our own records we got to stand for. We got our own things. But if you got any kind of doubt about the way God does anything, any kind of confusion about these situations, any kind of doubt about this, He's saying, deny it. Get it out of your head, get it out of your mind, and just follow me. I know what I'm doing. I got it all figured out. As much as the disciples questioned Jesus about why do you have to die, Lord? Why do you have to suffer through these things? But if He didn't, we would not have what we have today. Not only the promise of heaven, but the ability to, I cannot continue to name, but the ability to go to the Father 24/7. The promises of the fruits that we can have in our life. The promises of all the things that He can take from us and the griefs